In a horizontal projectile, the body is projected exactly horizontal to the ground surface so that the initial velocity has no component in the vertical direction. Here, consider a horizontal projectile which is projected with an initial velocity u from the top of a tower which has a height h. As the body begins to move, it is suffered by a velocity gt due to the force of gravity. So the body covers a trajectory path and finally strikes to the ground surface. Then time of flight of the horizontal projectile. Time of flight is the time taken by the projectile to complete its projectile motion. And when the body completes its projectile motion, the vertical displacement covered by the body is equal to the height of the tower. That means the vertical displacement is equal to the height of the tower, that is vertical displacement, and the acceleration in the vertical direction, that is acceleration in the vertical direction is equal to g, and the initial velocity in the vertical direction, the initial velocity in the vertical direction is 0 because the body is projected exactly horizontal to the ground surface. So the initial velocity in the vertical direction is 0. Then by using the kinematic equation, S is equal to ut plus half at square. H is equal to 0t plus half gt square, in which t is the time of flight, that is h is equal to 1 by 2 g capital T square, that is 2h is equal to gt square, that is t is equal to root of 2h by g. This is the expression for the time of flight of the projectile. Imagine that the body is at this position after t seconds. And when the body is at this position, it is suffered by a vertical velocity due to the force of gravity which is equal to gt, and the horizontal velocity u is there. That means the body is suffered by two velocities, the vertical velocity gt and the horizontal velocity u, and these velocities are acts at an angle 90 degree. Therefore, the resultant velocity v is equal to root of u square plus g square t square. And this is the magnitude of the velocity, that is the magnitude, and this direction theta equals tan inverse gt by u. This is the direction of the resultant velocity, and this is the magnitude of the resultant velocity. When the body is reached at the position B, it is suffered by a vertical displacement which is equal to y, and horizontal displacement which is equal to x. There is a displacement in the vertical direction, that is equal to y, acceleration in the vertical direction, that is equal to g, and initial velocity in the vertical direction is equal to 0 because the body is projected horizontal to the ground surface. So substitute all these values by using the kinematic equation. S is equal to ut plus half at square. The displacement y is equal to 0t plus half gt square, that is y is equal to g 1 by 2 gt square. And when the body completes its projectile motion, the time turns to time of flight, and the vertical displacement turns to the height of the tower. That is h is equal to 1 by 2 g capital T square. This is the expression for the maximum height of a horizontal projectile. And when we consider the horizontal displacement, the body has no acceleration in the horizontal direction because the force of gravity, the velocity due to force of gravity has no component in the direction of the initial velocity. So the initial velocity is always constant in this horizontal projectile. So the velocity in the horizontal direction, that is equal to the initial velocity, and the acceleration in the horizontal direction is equal to 0. Then using the kinematic equation, S is equal to ut plus half gt square. The horizontal displacement, that is equal to x, is equal to u t plus half into 0 t square. That means the horizontal displacement is equal to ut, and when the body completes its projectile motion, the time turns to time of flight and the displacement turns to the horizontal lines. That means the horizontal lines R is equal to U into capital T. This is the expression for the horizontal lines. The shape of the horizontal projectile is parabolic as in the case of the oblique projectile. We know that the horizontal displacement, that is the horizontal displacement x is equal to u into t. That means t is equal to x by u, where x is the horizontal displacement and u is the initial velocity. And the vertical displacement y is equal to half gt square. Substitute this t in this equation. Y is equal to 1 by 2 g into x by u the whole square. That is y equals 1 by 2 and g is a constant, u is constant, so this term was constant. That is y proportional to a square. Y proportional to a square represents the equation of a parabola. That means the projectile is parabolic in shape.